What's up YouTube? This is Joe from Zephyrwargames and I am here on an amazing website which I will explain to you later on, giving you a deck profile for Millenniummon. So this is a brand new deck that came out from BT 2.0 here in the UK, US, English format of the game, and I am having so much fun with this deck. So this deck has been through like 3 different iterations, and I've been wanting to make this since it first got revealed. In general, I love playing Machine Dramon. Machine Dramon was one of my first proper decks that I was playing competitively from EX1, and so with this being the progress of both Machine Digimon and Chimeramon, which is another one of my favorite Digimon. I love the villain Digimon, like the evil looking Digimon. They're always like fascinating to me. They're always just, tickle me, tickle my fancies. um, I had to build Millenniummon. It's such a cool Digimon. So as I said, this has been through 3 different versions of the deck. I had a pure variant, which I had built before. I then tweaked it around and had a purple hybrid variant, which utilized a small purple hybrid package, which if you guys would be interested in, I can profile that at some point as well, which gives a good example on like how you can minimize the purple hybrid package down to like 12 cards, like literally 12 cards. And it just like works very, very nicely in like almost any deck. And then I got to this variant here, which is a mixture of my own personal tech choices and ratios, as well as techs and builds that did well in the OCG, Japan, Asia format. So, before I get into the nitty-gritty card by card, let me just quickly ask if you enjoy us, give us a like, comment, and subscribe down below, and ding that notification bell, and join us for all the Digimon content here on Zephyr Digimon. And next, I want to give a quick shout out to my good mate Joe. Yes, we have another Joe who has created this amazing website here called My Digimon Deck Stats. So, My Digimon Deck Stats is a deck building website as well as stat monitoring website. So, what you can do here on this amazing website is not only create your own decks as we go here on my channel, Optimus Specs. I have all these decks here, 3 of them being Millenniummon, and 1 being Galaxy. What you can do here on this amazing website is not only create your deck profiles and share them with all of your friends, but you can monitor and record games on here. So if we go to my match history, as you can see here with my first version of Millenniummon, I've been recording 3 games with it, and you can see how you're doing. And all of that, you can monitor how many wins and how many losses you get. You can take notes, which is amazing. So if I go to here, record new game, you can see I can put in the person's name, the deck, game overall notes, win, loss, draw ratios, whether you Brit your opponent, Brit you, if you had a bad mulligan, you put your deck notes there. And all this kind of stuff. It is an amazing website. So again, a huge shout out to Joe for spending the time. He's been spending a lot of time making this. It is a fantastic website here. So you can create your own decks here. You can create the deck name and everything like that. It's just like card list. So handy, so useful, and I am thoroughly enjoying this website here. It's great. So if you would like to do your own, create your own decks, and join the community here on My Digimon Deck Stats, I will leave the link down to the website below where you can sign up. It is absolutely free. Don't need to pay a single penny to use this website and all of its amazing features. So again, link down in the video description, and all of the video descriptions from this video forward, you'll be seeing the link down there, and you can join and everything. There will be regular updates, and I will post a video when the website is fully fully finished, 100% finished, though obviously even in its complete state, he will still be updating it and changing things as it goes. But yes, so we'll be keeping you guys up to date on this website. So that's mydigimontdeckstats.com, where you can record, create, and keep track of every single deck that you make. So back to this deck. So we go back to the card list here, Millenniummon. So starting off with our egg down here, we have the new Pokemon from BT. Oh, it's hard to zoom in here. I'm still, as you can see, I'm still getting used to this website. Just try and zoom in here. I think I have to just do it on here. So here we go. Yeah, so we have the new Pokemon from BT19. On delete, if you're deleted other than battle, you can return one of your purple Digimon cards from the trash to your hand. This is one of the reasons why we're not playing Ukamon in this deck. I did try Ukamon before. Ukamon can work. You have to change your egg, and bear in mind all of your new rookies being Gazi and Giza. They can only evolve on Pagumons for a cheap cost. So this is the reason why we have to stick to Pokemon. The other Pokemon I was using was on Delete Mill 2 in terms of purple base. And if you want to go to black base, the good old classic Pokemon on Delete, look at top if it's a black Digimon, add it to your hand. That's also very, very strong as well that you can use for your eggs if you want to try Ukamon and put Ukamon in your deck. Otherwise, I think this Pokemon's great. Your deck deletes your own things a lot via card effects. So having this Pokemon is super handy. Moving on to the rookies now, we have our BT18 Gazimon here at 4 copies. So we play 4 of this. It is our searcher of the deck. On play, look at top 3 cards of your deck. You can add 1 Millenniummon name to your hand. And you can also add 1 Wicked God or Composite Treated card to your hand. That's very important because our option card is a Wicked God Treated card, so you can add that to your hand. Inherent is just generic retaliation. Very, very strong there. Our next 4 of is the Gizamon from BT19. So bear in mind all these cards are from 2.0 in general. So I'm probably just going to say 2.0 in all honesty. So yeah, actually might just do that. And I can actually then zoom out here, which should be quite nice for me. So just looks nice, we get to see everything here. So yeah, so we're playing 4 of the new Gizmon from 2.0. On play, trash a card with composite or wicked god trait to draw 2 cards. Inherent is blocker, we play 4 of this. These are your main rookies for your consistency and your defensive plays as well. We are taking the 2 copies of the Gazimon from BT14. Its only abilities on delete gain and memory. It just generically evolves on purple for 0. And being Gazimon means that our 2 new Deltamons can evolve on it for 2 costs. The only issue I was having in my locals recently is that Promo Deltamon can't actually evolve on this Gazimon. I'm tempted to take this Gazimon out, and even though sticking to purple base, I might play some BT8 Hawkmons, as it is just a generic searcher for 2 cost red cards, meaning that I can search most of the cards in my deck, including the Millenniummon. So there's a few times where I wasn't actually seeing the Millenniummon, and I even had a game loss because I couldn't actually get to him in time for my jog rest plays. So, but at the moment, 2 copies of Gazimon for the gain 1 memory when we delete him. Moving on to the champions, we're playing 2 copies of Promo Deltamon. Yes, he costs 3 to evolve, but he makes your composite traded Digimon -2. And since all of our Chimeramons evolve on Deltamon, composite traded Digimon for only 3 memory, means that our ultimates up in the main race in the battle area will only ever cost 1 to evolve, which is very, very strong. The inheritable of deleting multiple Digimons of 3000 DP, 1 for every color you have, is also quite handy as well. I've managed to get rid of some smaller bodies on the board because of this. Moving on, we have 3 copies of the Red Purple 2.0 Deltamon. This is on Digivolve and I believe on play. We get to trash 1 card in our hand, and then we get to recur any composite or Wicked Godded traded card from our trash to our hand. The inherent is retaliation, along similar to the Digimon. I'm just going to pull up my actual IRL deck here just to make sure I'm getting all of the triggers correctly. So on play and when digivolving. Yes, I was correct there. He also has Raid natively, which is very handy, as you can use this in the early game to clear off some small bodies that your opponent's leaving around. This deck can do very well with removing single targeted threats, but if your opponent's going wide, you can struggle. So I'll recommend a optional card I'm thinking of taking in later on, as I improve on this deck and move it forward, to help deal with those wide boards. Next we have the other Deltamon from 2.0. This guy is on play, when drawing, and on delete. By trashing a card in your hand, you can delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. The inheritable is Blocker. So this guy is very, very handy, though I am kind of tempted to swap them around, going 3 of this and 4 of this one, just because I really like the recursion that this one can give me, getting me my option cards back and all that kind of nature, and the Millenniummons. But yeah, this card's really good, really good. The inheritable blocker did come up for me a few times in locals, so really glad that it actually has that. Next we have this Cameraman from 2.0, I believe this is actual set BT18. He has when digivolving and when attacking, by deleting one of your Digimon, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. His other ability is on delete. One of your Machinedramons in play and one of your Cameramons in trash may DNA Digivolve into Millenniummon in your hand. The inheritable is Security Tap +1. This card is very, very strong in terms of like getting rid of your opponent's threats. The on delete ability as well to allow you to do a jog rest play is probably the reason why this is like the strongest Cameramon to most players. Though I do really like this one when we get to it, I'll explain why. But this Cameramon's really, really handy. You will be able to set him up a few times for that on delete effect when you on play one of your Machinedramons here, and you just get rid of it. Especially this one here, like these two synergize very, very strongly. I'll explain that when I get to the Machinedramon. Next we have 2 copies of this Cameramon. This one Cameramon is actually really good because it helps deal with the wide board decks, as he can on play and when digivolving by deleting one of your Digimon, delete one of your opponent's level 3, 4, and 5 Digimon. Very, very strong removal there. If your opponent's going wide with multiple different levels, you can just like start clearing them up. So I do apologise there. I'm struggling with a cold. I'm still recovering from that. His on delete effect though is by deleting one of your level 4 lower purple or red Digimon, you may play back a Machinedramon from your trash without paying cost. You'll rarely ever use that ability because it is actually quite difficult to get and keep that level 4 low on the field when this guy dies, but it can come up. He does have a Digicross as well that you can reduce his on play cost by 1, and you can put 3 level 4 composite traded Digimon with different card numbers underneath him to reduce his play cost by 1 for each. Again, inherent is Security Tap +1. Next we have the best Machinedramon, which is Machinedramon from BT18. He has a Digivolution cost of 3 from any purple or black, or any composite traded Digimon as well. His on play and when digivolving is just de-digivolve one all of your opponent's Digimon. Very, very handy. I was having it like really annoy a friend of mine with his Lucemon deck, and I just kept de-digivolving his Lucemons. And in another matchup against Galacticmon, I just kept de-digivolving the Galacticmon, so it was just like never affected me. His on delete though is similar to the Chimeramon from BT18, just in reverse. When he is deleted, one of your Chimeramons in play and a Machinedramon in trash may do a DNA Digivolve. The Machinedramons in this deck will have the rules that they are treated as composited Digimon, and they both have the inherent ability where if once per turn during your opponent's turn, when any of your opponent's Digimon attacks, you may change the attack target to one of your composite or Wicked God traded Digimon. So it's very, very handy for that redirection. Essentially giving you 2 blocks potentially, because you can still manage to get your blocker inherents on your Millenniums. You can start redirecting them twice. So very, very strong there. We're only playing, so we play 4 of this, but we're only playing 1 of this Machinedramon. We just need another Machinedramon target. Though this is still a really, really strong Machinedramon. I would love to play him at 2 copies at least. But deck space is very tight. But then as you can see, we are playing some spicy text, which we'll get to later. His on-play and when digivolving is just delete a level 5 Digimon X on either player's field, so you can actually delete your own Chimeramons if you really want to. Like for this one, for example, and like this Machinedramon can then do a jog rest with that Chimeramon just deleted. On delete, you just get to play a level 5 or low Digimon with a composite or cyborg trait from your trash without paying cost. Again, Raw is treated as composite, and he has a Digicross of 1, and you can use 5 level 5 or low cyborg or composite traded Digimon with different card numbers. So trying to keep it similar to the EX1 Machinedramon, so you can use it in a Machinedramon deck if you so wish, but we're mostly just using him in here as a way to remove your opponent's threats, be a Machinedramon name, and maybe get a Chimeramon back. Moving on to our big level 7s, like the main focus of the deck, we're playing 4 copies of BT18 Millenniummon. So he is a Jogress and Digicross with Machinedramon and Chimeramons. The Digicross though is -2 for each card, so you can hard play it with 10. Rarely comes up, but I have done that a few times. So he's on play, and when digivolving, it's just delete an opponent's Digimon. Then if you DNA digivolved by returning one of each Digimon card with different levels from your opponent's trash to the top of the deck, you gain 1 memory for each card returned. So you can't return a level 2, unfortunately, because they are not classified as a Digimon, but you can return levels 3 to 7. This is a way to start manipulating your opponent's deck and essentially keeping control of the game in a way that you're controlling what cards they draw and get access to for like the next potential 4 or 5 turns, which is very, very strong. His on delete though is by returning a Chimeramon and Machinedramon from your trash to the bottom of the deck. You may play a Millenniummon from your trash without paying costs. It doesn't actually have to be himself, it can be any other Millenniummons. So if you really wanted to, you could play back your BT2 Millenniummons, but you're mostly just going to bring yourself back because then he has the on-play to delete a Digimon. And bear in mind, when he does on-play himself back from trash, you are playing him, so you can Digicross him to get your materials back if you have them in hand. Or if you have the Nene Tamer, you can use them from trash as well, but we'll explain to her when we get to her. Next, we have 2 copies of Moon Millenniummon. This is like one of my favorites, because his artwork is so cute, so cute for like the god of destruction essentially. So he can digivolve on any Millenniummon for 2 costs. It has to be base form Millenniummon. But on play and when digivolving, your opponent trashes cards in their hand till they have 5 left. For every 2 they trash, you delete a Tamer, which is very, very strong. Strong Tamer removal. He can digivolve for 5 as well on any purple level 6, so you can, and I have done a few times, just evolve straight from Machinedramon to Moon, and just to get those trashes and control the hand a little bit and remove those Tamers. But all turns when this card would leave, Digimon would leave the battle area. By deleting one of your other composite traded Digimon, it doesn't leave, so he has a form of protection as long as you have a body fodder. And then all turns, once per turn, when another Digimon Tamer is deleted, your opponent trash is the top security. So this is your safe way to start dealing with your opponent's security and removing their shields safely as you build up your stacks. Next we have 2 copies though of the big boy himself, Zed Millenniummon. So he can evolve a Moon Millenniummon for 2 or any red, purple, or black level 6 for 6. His on play when digivolving and when attacking is by returning one of your opponent's Digimon to the top from the trash to the top of the deck. You can return one of the Digimon on the field to the bottom of the deck. So again, he's got a little upgrade of the base form Millenniummon in terms of removal and deck manipulation. So you can get some good stacks there. His turns though is that if he has no evolution sources, he can't be suspended and is unaffected by your opponent's Digimon effects. I can double check that with a physical copy. This card with no Digivolution cards can't be suspended and isn't affected by your opponent's effects. So just effects in general. So very, very strong protection there. And you may be thinking, oh, if he can't be suspended, how is he attacking? Well, he has Overclock. So he has Overclock composite trait. So that means that at the end of your turn, except for the turn this card is on-played, you can, by deleting one of your tokens, any token, or other composite traded Digimon, this Digimon may attack a player without suspending. So he can still swing without turning sideways, as we like to say in our locals. So Overclock's very, very strong. It's a great way to just blitz the game. That's essentially what I treat Zed Millenniummon as. It's just a way to blitz the game and have another target for our Wicked God's Descent option. So if they do remove our Moon Millenniummons or the next card we're about to talk about, we have still a body on board for them to be threatened with. The last Digimon on the deck is my super spicy tech, and that is BT2 Millenniummon. So this guy can evolve in any purple or black level 6 for 6. And he has when digivolving, you just can return an opponent's Digimon on the field to the bottom of the deck. His on delete though is that if he has an evolution source, you may play this card from the trash without paying cost. So he doesn't do anything essentially when he comes back. You can only ever get him back once. Well, technically, we can get him back in other ways, and I'll explain that later. But his main reasoning for being in the deck is that he's another Millenniummon name. He returns to the deck instead of just deleting, so it gets rid of, gets around those on delete protection abilities that are in the game. And he is a Millenniummon of a play cost of 15. And so that will get to be important a little bit later. Moving on to Tamers, we have 4 copies of Analog Youth. We are a trash-orientated deck, and so Analog Youth is just amazing. We are also a stack deleting deck, meaning our own stacks. And since they are like level 5s and higher when they are being deleted, we can pull some memory back and make our phase a little bit cheaper. We are playing 1 copy of Nene Amana. So she is a mem setter, but also all turns if you would digicross a composite traded Digimon, you can suspend Nene and use cards from your trash for digicross material. You can only use 1, so just do bear that in mind. But Nene is very good as A, being a mem setter, and B, allowing you to get back those missing pieces in your trash when you're on playing your Millenniummons again. Moving on to options, to round out the deck, we are playing 2 copies of the Wisdom Training. Most of our deck is purple, so except for this, and so Wisdom Training is very good. I've been tempted to play black training, just because then I can search this, because this is more needed than this at most of the times, as this is your main play. So I have been tempted to play Wisdom Defense Training. But that's something I need to think about a little bit later on. Next, we're playing 2 copies of the Wicked God's Descent. So this is a 4-cost purple option main. You may play a composite traded Digimon from your trash, with the play cost reduced by 4. Then, this card goes into the battle area. All turns, except the turn obviously that got played, you may delay it. When one of your Millenniummon in name would leave the battle area, you may play a Wicked God traded Digimon with a play cost 1 higher than that Digimon from your hand or trash without paying cost. So, this is one of the reasons why we're playing this Millenniummon. So normally you would have to go from this to then this, because we're going from 14, 15 to 16. But by playing the BT2 Millenniummon, you can actually, when this is leaving, trash the option and just jump straight to Z and skip Moon. So if you really wanted to get into your Z Millenniummon early, you can actually use the Wicked God's Descent to just go from this straight into this. And because it would be deleted, like if he is being deleted, he can still play himself back, and then you just have 2 Millenniummons out. It's just so fun to do. I did that against my friend with his Lucimon deck, and he was just like, what? Everyone was just like, what did you just do? Like, this is why this card is good. But the best card in the deck, and I can't believe I wasn't playing this, and that is Revive from Darkness. I actually kind of want to play 3 of this, and I'll explain the play for it. So what this card does, for 4 memory, delete one of your purple Digimon, then you may play a level 5 purple Digimon or lower from your trash without paying cost. Anyone plays that doesn't trigger, securities just add this card to hand. So, the reason this card is amazing is that you would build up your stack in the back into this Machinedramon. What you have underneath them doesn't matter, so long as it's a Chimeramon somewhere. What you would then do is that you would play your Revive from Darkness, delete your Machinedramon, play back the Chimeramon that was under that Machinedramon. So now, since Revive from Darkness has now finished resolving, your Machinedramons on delete can now trigger, meaning that your now Chimeramon in play, that is just played, can jog us from Machinedramon into Millenniummon. So, what would be before be like a 8 memory play, it's just now 4 memory. And that 4 memory can quite easily be pulled back with Millenniummon on his own, but even more with Analog Youth, which is just super, super strong. And so that's why this card is amazing, and I feel really stupid for not playing it before. This card's phenomenal if you're wanting to play this deck. And bear in mind, actually, this is a very budget-friendly deck. I think the only pricey card in here is just the Zed himself, and even then base forms are like £8 or something like that. Like, it's not expensive to get Zed Millenniummons. Like, Revive from Darkness is a super important card in my opinion, and again, something I want to kind of bump up to 3 just to get that play going. But that, guys, is the deck. I hope you all enjoyed it. This is my first deck from BT 2.0 that I wanted to put on the channel because it's something I've really been excited to play and I'm really enjoying playing. I think with like maybe one more line of support, this deck could actually become a solid contender. I think definitely needs another rookie in Archetype. And maybe another Machinedramon or Chimeramon, I think. Then like the deck would be good. But in 2.5 we are getting another form of support in the form of the Shademon to go with the Nene. Maybe then I'll do another update. I think at the moment I'm just going to be tweaking a little bit of ratios here and there, but like again, the deck is just basically going to be like this, with just like ratios just like dotted around here and there. But as I mentioned before, if you are interested in wanting to see the purple hybrid variant, I'll happily profile that as well, so you can get another idea on how you can play this archetype. So, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Again, check out my Digimon deck stats. Link will be in the description below. Until next time, guys, as always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.